Welcome to Beyond the Pages, an author's insight. This is our very first episode. We're excited about this because God has told us to allow a platform for authors to come on and talk about the behind things that happen with being an author. I should say behind stuff, behind whatever. But whatever, there are things that take place when an author's writing a book that we think that you guys should know. And I am so excited to have Leslie with me today. And she just wrote another book, because you're going to hear about other books, but Housebroken. And I can't wait till you guys hear what she has to say about her being an author, her being a wife, her being a mother, all that, her being a daughter, all that comes into play. Right, Leslie?
Yes.
So, Leslie, tell our viewers a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, first of all, thank you for having me here. I am so excited to be here, and I feel honored just to be here today. So thank you for that.
You're welcome.
But as you stated, yes, I'm a wife, I'm a mom, I'm a writer. I'm also a social worker. I work full time. I have a private practice as a psychotherapist. So I've had a lot of different journeys and have had to wear a lot of different hats. So it definitely has been a journey, I will say.
Well, so I knew you had a private practice. Mm-hmm. So you're also a licensed social worker. Is that what it is?
Yes.
So you get to hear a lot of stories. Mm-hmm. So now I'm beginning to see a little bit about Housebroken, mm-hmm. right? While the title and some things that you may have experienced being a licensed social worker. Right? Or therapist. It's a licensed therapist.
Yes. So I'm a licensed LCSWC, a licensed social worker, and I work as a therapist. But I will tell you, this story really has been 25 years in the making.
Oh,
nearly. Wow. I've been married for 25 years. I started writing this when I was a newlywed myself. This book does showcase a young woman's first year of marriage, and there's a lot of disasters that happen. It's meant to be a fun, light read, honestly. Mm-hmm. But I started this as a newlywed, and I need to say it is not autobiographical at all.
Okay.
But I think as a newlywed, you start kind of trying to understand how marriage is supposed to work. How do you become one? I put the book aside, worked on a number of other books, and then came back to this one.
Well, you know what, Leslie? I think this is timely because I see a lot of young people getting married now, and then I can honestly say that all 4 of my children are married. But me and my husband had a conversation with them, like, don't get into this thinking it's going to be rosy and you're going to be tiptoeing through the tulips every day, and don't think that you're not going to have anything in life that's going to happen that's going to challenge you, because the thing is, marriage is a covenant and not a contract. I keep telling them, I said, so we required that all of them go through marriage counseling first. That was one of the things that we required to say, if you want to do it, you don't have to listen to me and your daddy, but go sign up for marriage counseling. And I could tell you this, when it gave them some insightful things, right, in marriage counseling. So you said that you started it when you first and you came back. And the reason I say it's timely is because even though people are getting married, there's a lot of divorces going around as well. Because people get into it thinking that it's not going to challenge them or it's going to cause them to die. What I always say, marriage caused me to die to myself. Because I can go in it with Tony. That's my husband. For 37 years. But I can really, and I can say, I'm going to pack my stuff. And now that my kids got houses, I'm going to stay with one of them. But God keeps reminding me, it's a covenant. And I never told you it was going to be peachy. So I also realized that this is self-published. Right. So why self-published?
Absolutely. So this is my 8th novel. I've had 7 other books that were traditionally published, or at least started that way. It has been a journey. There are a lot of ups and downs. Anyone who is in the writing world will tell you. It can be a cutthroat business. It can be a lonely business because 2 o'clock in the morning, I'm writing a story. There aren't readers there. There are no editors. So it's a journey. But this time around, I just wanted to self-publish with the help of my husband. He does the graphics. He's been very supportive.
Husband.
Yes.
Husband.
Yes.
Graphics. Okay. Yes.
I think you use the word timing. I've been saying for years, I trust God's timing.
Mm-hmm.
Even with this book, the timing of it, the way that everything has unfolded, I just see God's hand in it. I've had to step back from my will, from what I think should happen, and then trust God with the results. But with this story, it is meant to be an encouragement. It's meant to be a light read.
Right.
But it really does tackle some of the issues that can come up that first year of marriage. It's not always the big things that happen.
Right.
We hear the drama and the
Mm-hmm.
trauma.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it's the little things
Mm-hmm.
that just start gnawing away, right?
Mm-hmm.
But there's still some drama in there too. I will say, for example, the young lady.
Okay, now she's giving y'all a little treat.
One little thing.
Right.
She has a new job, and she finds out that her supervisor is actually her husband's ex-fiance that he never told her about.
Mm.
So
yeah, that could be some drama.
So there's some things that happened that first year that she truly is not expecting, and one reason I did want to write it, I think, especially growing up in the church, sometimes there's this idea that if I do X, Y, and Z, that God is just going to open up this wonderful marriage situation. Right. I'm not going to have any issues. It's just going to be perfect. She quickly learns that, yes, you might have Christ in your heart, and you might be praying for him to be in your home, but that does not stop the trials. Right. That does not stop the concerns that can come up, because we are all imperfect people. Right. And when you get married, you have two imperfect people trying to have a perfect union. So, yes. Yeah, I had a lot of fun writing this, I will say.
And so you said that you started it 7 years ago?
I started this almost 25 years ago.
So
I've been married for 25 years. Okay. I started it within the first 5 years of our marriage. Went through several different edits, had to change the technology.
Because time changed, right?
There are no more like flip phones, right, and
right,
different things like that. So I've had to, come back and keep updating it.
So you kept picking it back up within the 25 years,
yes,
and this is the year.
Yes, this is the year.
Wait a minute now, wait a minute. 2025. I just realized that. Did y'all realize that?
Yeah, it was. I would say I started it. Wow. I don't know if it was exactly 25 years. Maybe I just know it was within the first first 3 years of our marriage that we started. That I started.
Wow. Wow. Yeah. So one of the things is that I know that a lot of authors struggle with is what do they call it? When they freeze and they can't.
Writer's block.
Writer's block. How do you deal with writer's block?
That is a very real thing.
It is.
I have learned sometimes you just have to start somewhere. You have to give yourself permission to start somewhere. So even if I'm starting a sentence, starting a scene, it might not be the beginning of the book. I'll go back later and realize this was actually the 5th chapter. This was actually, I had a situation with one of my novels. I had written an entire chapter, then realized it belonged in a completely different book. Literally cut and pasted it.
Wow.
And it belonged somewhere else. Change the characters' names. But you just have to start somewhere. You just have to,
Right. But I want people to know this is a full-time wife, a full-time mom, full-time. She got a full-time job, and she still put this 8th?
Yes, so, this is the 8th one.
Oh, and this is the 8th? Yes. So I just want people to know that, because I hear a lot of people say, I want to do it, I want to do it, I want to do it. But then they just start labeling or going through the list of everything they have going on. Yes. So how do you make time? What do you do to make time to write? Or do you just do it when everybody's asleep?
That is my husband would tell you I'm a night owl. Okay. He's the morning bird. What is it, the early bird? I'm the night owl. I feel like my most creative times, and this has been consistent throughout our marriage, is between 10 p.m. and 2 a.m. It was a little easier when I was younger.
Yeah, I know.
It has become a little bit more difficult now. Right. But really, I don't know what it is about that window when the house is just quiet and still, and I can just take out my computer. I'm probably on my 4th or 5th laptop.
Yeah. So what you're saying is make the time.
Yes, you have to make the time.
If you want it, you desire it, just make the time.
There are no magic wands. There are no easy buttons. I can testify to that completely. But if there is a God-given calling or passion that is inside of you, you can't wait for there to be a perfect time, because again, imperfect people, imperfect lives,
Right.
but perfect calling.
Right.
And you do have to make the time. It's kind of like, I almost feel bad for trying to talk about discipline. You know, like I have this whole dream of going to the gym on a daily basis. And
Me
it's
too.
not happened, but I know that if I wanted to do it,
Me
I
too,
just
girl.
have to do it,
Me
right?
too. We're going to get there.
Right. So same way with writing or whatever that passion
Right.
is. You just, there's no
Right.
magic one. You just have to do it.
Right. Right. And I do believe that it, of course, takes discipline. But I can't remember what it's like. I can't remember the scripture that Miles Monroe, because he say also about when how God anoints your hands. And I just think that when God has anointed you and called you to something, even though it may take a while, you're going to get it done.
Yes.
You're going to get it done. And plus, his time is not our time.
Can I say something
Yes.
about that? I had stepped away from writing. I had actually, I had a number of books come out back to back to back to back, and then I had a pause. There's a lot that comes in, discouragement. Start doubting things. But when God has given you something to do, you can't let it go.
Right.
You can't even look at what you think is happening or not happening.
Right.
You just have to be obedient to the call.
Right, and you're sitting in an example here at Elevation.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
I feel, and I'm gonna tell you what the way I feel, because you have such an intimate relationship with Christ. You don't feel like you're letting the other people down. You feel like you're gonna let God down,
Right.
and there's no way I want to let Him down. And especially when He know you know He told you to do it.
Right.
And then if it's like you're gonna be outright disobedient to Him, or you just gonna ignore God? No. So I understand what you feel. So and it's something that He has for you. So another one after this one, or
that is my hope and prayer and dream is to continue to write. I would ask everyone, if you're able to support, it helps because it allows me to continue to write. And people ask, how can you support an author? Obviously, buying the books, but even putting up a review, that can be helpful. Telling your friends. I heard someone say, if you tell 3 people, if you tell 5 people, that helps grow. It is a lot of work, but I trust God. I trust His timing.
That's right. So since you went there, tell people how they can purchase and how they can get in contact with you.
So the book is available pretty much anywhere online where books are sold. Amazon, Barnes & Noble has it online. Walmart even has it online. If you want to find links, if you go to my website, lesliejsherrod.com, and click on New Release, I have all of the links there where you can purchase the book. It's available both in the paperback form and also as an ebook, meaning that you can even go on Google Play right now and download the book. You can go on Apple Books. So if you just have a phone in your pocket and you need a quick read, download the ebook. It's there. I sincerely appreciate your support with this.
And we want you guys, because it sounds like I haven't read it yet because I was waiting to get my copy, signed copy.
Yes.
I'm going to purchase. I am going to purchase a copy and get a signed copy, because I do believe in seeding into someone's life, especially their vision. And I believe that this is going to be a great read. Like you said, I'm excited about it because I've heard about your other books as well and how great they are. But I just think this is timely. I really do. I really think it's timely.
And just one quick note, if you do want a signed copy, I have that link on my website as well. That's the only place where you'll find the link to purchase a signed copy.
Okay, that's great.
Yes.
So you can purchase a signed copy. So is there anything that you want to leave with our listeners and viewers?
Not to give up. I can tell you I have been intimately acquainted with discouragement. And sometimes, even in the middle of doing things like this, you may not see exactly where it's going. You may not know how to get there. But if you are listening and tuned in to the Christ in you, know that He's not going to lead you astray. So whoever is out there feeling discouraged or lonely or questioning, maybe you've had a dream or passion for years and you've put it away. Maybe it's been 25 years. Know that you still matter. The dreams He put in you still matter. And you just have to do it. You have to start somewhere. Give yourself permission to start somewhere.
That's good. So you guys, you see 2 dreamers sitting here. You see, manifestation has happened through our dreams. So thank you for that word of encouragement, because I do believe that people, when they don't see it happening, they stop or they get discouraged. But keep going forward, keep pushing, because there is an appointed time.
Are you looking to elevate your brand into a business? Are you ready to use your voice of truth? Elevation Global Media Group is your one-stop shop for all things media. Elevation Global Media Group has you covered. They offer podcast production, graphic design for logos and websites, branding, marketing, and so much more. Head on over to elevationglobalmediagroup.com for more info or call 443-307-1241. That's 443-307-1241.
Now that we have this publishing company, Right On Time Publishing, I'm envisioning doing a number of books. I love to write short stories. I have a couple of sequel ideas for Housebroken. And as a therapist, I've even had some ideas of some self-help type books. So I have a lot of ideas. I do not yet have a timeline.
Okay.
So we'll see. I'm hoping to just really get back into another novel, though. So maybe within the next year.
Okay.
Hold me to it within the year. Okay.
So you started a publishing company.
Yes.
That is what I'm talking about. And that's exactly how we started this media company, because I was at Radio One and some other, I'm not going to name some others.
Okay.
And we had a show, but they would never get us beyond just coming in to record a show every day. And we knew that there was other parts to this to help us to be successful. And sure enough, in 2020, I had a dream in January of 2020. The radio station was shut down. I had no idea COVID was coming. And the radio station was shut down. Nobody was in there. And then me and, at the time, Placido, which was my co-host, the dream was I walked into the station. I said, "Where is everybody?" And he said, "Well, nobody's here. We're shutting down." And then in the dream, God pulled me out, and then he lifted me up. He said, "I'm pulling you out to take you higher." And I could see 695 Beltway, and then Placido went down. She was afraid. And so she ran down to the subway station, and she was afraid. But I said, "No, you witness. And I kept telling her to witness, right? And I woke up, and it was so clear to me that God had spoken to me. And I told them that in March, before COVID happened, our last show would be here in March. And what happened? COVID happened, and we could not go into the station. And then I said, "God, I know you spoke, and I'm going to keep moving regardless of COVID." We had a couple of a location where the landlord, they did some unethical things. So I waited a year after that because I wanted to hear God where he wanted us to be. I told you my daughter said she had a dream about us being in White Marsh. And I just took a ride around, and we ended up here. But like you said, my obedience is to God. And it does become a one-man audience. Because everybody else just going to be blessed because you're doing what God told you to do. That's it. So we want to thank you for tuning in to Beyond the Pages and Author's Insight with me, Cassandra Ferguson, and my guest, Leslie Sherrod. So go purchase.